and welcome to CRU News. I'm Khushbu, Soni, host for the broadcast and chief editor at CRU News. This is our exclusive interview series with the startup on the topic of Zero Moment of Truth, a special Shark Tank edition. It is a recorded session and will be available on our website, that is criunews.co.in, and our CRU News LinkedIn handle. It is my pleasure to invite our guest for today. He is Mr. Ranjeet Deshmukh, the founder at RoadBounce. Ranjeet, welcome and congratulations to you and the entire team at RoadBounce for getting backed by Shark Tank. I think it's a great achievement and we really look forward to hearing your journey.
Great. Thank you very much, Khushbu. Thank you for having me here. And it's really my pleasure to be here at CRU News.
Awesome. So, Ranjeet, we heard of the brand through Shark Tank's episode. I think it's a great concept, but we would like to hear it once again from you. If you can give us a quick brief about the company.
Sure. Okay. So, well, let me try to start with the problem definition. It's all about asset management. Consider, let's assume that you are the commissioner of Mumbai or the secretary of Public Works Department of Maharashtra, for example. India is the second largest road network in the world. And when we get monsoon, heavy rains, we get potholes because the roads are due for maintenance. But then, even if you look at Maharashtra state as an example, we have around 80,000 kilometers of roads. So how do you find out where are the potholes and which areas need frequent maintenance? There is no technology available to do that. And all what we can do is take a picture and upload it onto some app. But that has a lot of limitations because this data is never complete. So there is no global solution which can give you a complete overview of riding quality. And we saw that as an opportunity. So that's what we do. Essentially, we have built technology to capture this riding quality information at very large scale. And we have built multiple products and services on top of it. So that's at the core of RoadBounce.
Right. Awesome. I think it's one of the major challenges we all face on a day-to-day travel, right? So I think it's a great initiative. How was your experience on Shark Tank, Ranjeet?
It was fantastic. I was really not hoping to be there. I was hoping to be there, but I was really didn't hope that I will get selected because the platform is about startups which has mass appeal. It's a show, right? So from that perspective, we are not a B2C company. We are a B2B company, and with some government as a stakeholder who always plays a role because road is a public asset. So you always need to interact with government. So that was kind of a unique combination. However, they selected us and I'm really thankful to the Shark Tank team for selecting us because this problem has a mass appeal as well. This is at everybody's heart of finding out potholes, getting alerts for upcoming potholes. So the overall process was extremely exciting and fantastic team, fantastic production, and excellent judges. Because it's very, very difficult for anybody to fathom into a business in such a short time. And they could actually do that. They were extremely efficient in their mind as well. So it was a great experience interacting with them.
Right. So great. And how did you decide to go ahead? What Piyush Bansal had to offer.
First of all, there are two reasons. First reason is obviously from practical perspective. I have started this company, and I understand that we have achieved the product market fit. Customers want what we are selling. We are generating revenue out of it. So this is the right time to scale. This is the right time to get external money to increase our operations. And we were lucky to have the Shark Tank event occurring at the right time. So that's why, I mean, I really jumped onto that opportunity.
Correct.
But secondly, and most importantly, he mentioned about him liking the technology as well.
Yeah.
And I basically come from software background, so I'm basically a technical guy. I'm not a sales guy. So that was kind of near to my heart. I mean, obviously, if we can build something more better using this technology, then that will be fantastic. So I thought it will be a great opportunity, great partnership going forward. So that's why I jumped onto the deal.
Awesome, awesome. Great. And how has the company's function changed, after being backed by investment from Piyush Bansal?
More than investment, it's the exposure what we got out of Shark Tank. That's, I think, has a big role to play. I mean, obviously, Piyush has his own brand, his own status in the market. So somebody like him backing us up builds a lot of credibility for us. Before this, if we had to approach somebody, we had to establish our credibility by some or other means. But now that process is real bit simple because it's out there. I mean, everybody knows what our business is and what we are doing and who is backing us. So now it's a very, very honest, straightforward game. So now opening the doors have become much more easier compared to before. However, that's the only thing which has got easier. We still have to go through the drill. We have to prove that our solution is going to save time, money, and cost. Uh, and we still have to prove the solution. But the initial friction has definitely got reduced.
Great. Ranjeet, one happiest moment on your entrepreneur journey?
In my RoadBounce journey, well, I think, you know what, the happiest moment is yet to come. I mean, I think we sincerely see, I mean, let me give you some background about myself as well. I mean, I come from a software background, as I mentioned earlier, and I have done 2 startups before this. So first startup I did into logistics, which was a successful exit. And then the second one I did into healthcare space, which we could not scale. So it failed. So I have seen one success, one failure, and this is the third one which I am starting. Now, this one, we are extremely passionate about not building the technology only, not building the business only, but also about having a social impact. If we can save one life out there, which is, in risk due to the potholes and other issues, then I think it's worth doing all this thing. So we actually worked in one of the municipal corporation areas a few years back. And we could actually see that because of our surveys, because of our data collection, now the road contractors have gotten extremely diligent and they are taking the road fixes priority on priority. And we could see the before and after, where before we went into the market, the road actually had some issues. But after we came in as an inspector, then somehow the quality got extremely improved. So I think that was a great sense of achievement for all of us here in the team, because it was like a practical evidence that, okay, boss, whatever we are doing, that is actually resulting in having better roads, at least in some parts.
Great, great. So good to hear. I mean, you have that thought process that yes, something great is something that you're really looking forward to and you have a vision to achieve, and that's going to be your happiest moment. So good to hear that, Ranjeet. The most challenging moment, every entrepreneur, we on our daily life go through challenges on a day-to-day basis, right? Morning starts with good news or sometimes a challenge, and then throughout the day, the graph is just up and down. The most challenging times, Ranjeet, that you face, and how did you kind of handle that?
Yeah, I mean, well, lot of stories which I can share. I'll have to think about the best one. But the biggest problem is you as a founder do not have a boss, so nobody tells you what to do. And that's the problem. So I had to create a pseudo network of my mentors or my friends, who's basically their core task is to criticize me. And every week we meet together, have a lunch or dinner, and then they basically criticize me. Boss, whatever you are doing, is it really worth it? and then I have to prove to them. So that's a fantastic process we go through. But talking about challenging moment, the key to success is sustenance. And we are doing RoadBounce for last 5 years now, and we are in market. People know us now. But during this process, we have seen our own ups and downs. So there was a time where I had to reduce down my team. We were like around 40 people working here. We got the product developed, tested, and everything. But it was time till we sell it in the market. And we realized that, boss, we have only 3 months of runway available with us. So the only thing I can do is reduce down my expenses so that I can increase the runway. And that's a very, very difficult thing to do, because these are like your near and dear ones who have joined with you with your mission. You can't really fire your employees in a way, but they also understand. So what I did was, I mean, luckily I had good contacts in the industry. So I called all my friends working in different IT companies, and I arranged a campus interview session at my office. And all of these people came, they took interviews of my folks, and then they got selected onto their next job. So I didn't fire them, I gave them a new job. That's how we departed. I mean, obviously this gesture is appreciated by them as well. So we are still in touch. They still come over, come to my office and contribute. But it's very hard to you to shell out your intellectual property like this, your friendship like this. So I think that was the toughest moment.
Correct. Got it. Awesome. My one last question before we end today's episode. Any advices that you would want to give to entrepreneurs, who are seeking funding in future? Any learnings that you would want to share?
I mean, well, I'm really not that experienced that I can give a generic advice to all the founders out there. I can probably select a niche. I mean, somebody who is like me, who is in my area. I can probably advise that some of the basic principles what you hear out there really are worth it. So if you don't follow them, then that's going to cost you 2-3 years of your life. So if you want to save 3 years experiences in your life, then you should follow those principles. For example, when you start a company, it's always good to have one person looking at production, manufacturing, and one person looking at sales and marketing. It is possible to wear both the hats, but ideally, as much as possible, you shouldn't do it. They have to be separate function, because sometimes you may want to sell what you have not built. And which is unfair, but I mean, that's how things move forward. And secondly, I can, again, with my own experience, I can tell you that when I was starting with my third startup, how did I get this idea? So I started meeting people and I asked them, boss, do you have a problem which I can solve? And then one of the senior road authority, I made through some reference. So he gave me this problem. How do I detect potholes on such a large road network? There is no way of doing that, which we got triggered with, and we developed RoadBounce. But then we started with a problem statement. We didn't start with a solution. So we didn't say that, okay, we have an AI-based technology which can detect potholes on the road, and let me try to find out who wants to buy it. So that's the other way around. We shouldn't be going that way. I mean, these are some of the small words. I'm sure everybody knows all of this, but I can just underline these facts based on my experience.
Right, and I think it's also about when we hear similar, problems and similar suggestions, and I think it's true, and it's something that you definitely should look at, right? So these advices are definitely something that we should never forget when we are in the course of our entrepreneurial journey. So wonderful insights, Ranjeet. Thank you once again for joining us on today's episode, and we look forward to staying in touch, and all the best to you and the entire team at RoadBounce for your future.
Great. Thank you, Varsh. Thank you. Thank you very much, Khushbu.
Thank you.